So you do have to take with a grain of salt in what informants told police. They had any evidence, they had enough evidence, they would have indicted him, obviously. But in the late 1990s, so after about 20 years of running the temple, their masjid as it's called now, he became the subject of a massive federal narcotics investigation with wholesalers for a drug-dealing rap group named the Ram Squad, the Rich and Allen Mob, which is Rich and Allen Projects, which was a stronghold of the Philly Black Mafia. They discussed Shamsud-Din Ali's name on wiretap. So the guys that were serving Ram Squad, Tommy Hill, you may remember him. Tommy Hill was a rapper in Ram Squad. He went from hanging with Skinny Joey Merlino and passing out turkeys.
Tommy Hill has had run-ins with the law before, including a high-profile drug trial back in 2004. The former head of the rap group Ram Squad also had ties to ex-mob boss Joey Merlino.
Ended up, Tommy Hill got on the witness stand against another dealer, and he had some elaborate reason of why that didn't make him a snitch, and he eventually showed back up in Philly and was hanging out and was trying to Tommy Hill is a classic example of the extreme narcissism to the point of craziness of some gangsters, I guess you could say, where they just don't live in reality. So he had gotten on the witness stand and testified against a guy and helped him get his house raided and all this crazy stuff. And he wanted to come back to Philly. He was going on radio stations, giving interviews. And he ended up getting gunned down outside of a bar in Philadelphia.
Well, sources tell us exclusively tonight a well-known local rapper has died after being shot while coming out of a Philadelphia bar. Police are still investigating Friday night shooting. It happened outside Ruben's Mark Bar in the city's East Mount Airy section.
So anyways, the Kabani Savage wiretaps involved an overheard conversation of Shamsud-Din Ali asking a dope wholesaler for $5,000, explaining he needed to give the money to a longtime aide to Philadelphia Mayor John Street. Now, so these series of bugs on Savage and in Mayor Street and other people's offices had led to a bunch of distinct investigations into municipal corruption that involved pay-to-play shakedowns and no-show jobs, which is classic mafia stuff. Why rob and steal when you can just have 8 people getting $1,500 a week for jobs they don't have to go to, right? Best hustle in the world. The Italians have been doing it forever. Now, a guy named Dawood Bey, who was son of founding Black Mafia member Roosevelt Spooks Fitzgerald, was recorded on a wiretap complaining to another guy that Shamsud-Din Ali was, quote, walking with kings and we're out here hustling. Not exactly an admission of criminal behavior, but it implies certain things. Dawood Bey was likely referring to Mr. Shamsud-Din's prominence in city politics, which included things like meet and greets with President Bill Clinton during a visit to Mayor John Street. And another, the FBI's recorded convos involved Shamsud-Din Ali boasting about young, heavily armed dealers fearing him, no doubt because of the Black Mafia's legendary reputation on the Philly streets. And the drug investigation led to the convictions and guilty pleas of 37 people, and the corruption probe resulted in another 20 people pleading guilty, including the city treasurer. And in 2005, Shamsud-Din Ali was convicted of 22 counts of various racketeering and fraud charges, and he got sent to federal prison with a 7-year sentence. He got out a long time ago in 2013. So remember, this all happened 20-some years ago. But Kabani Savage's case and the investigation into him led to Din Ali and Tommy Hill. You know, it's a lot. There's a lot of things spawned off of it. But one of the many people convicted in the corruption probe with Shamsud-Din Ali was his own daughter, Leia Kiki Spicer, who was found guilty of fraudulently billing the government for non-existent students at the Clara Muhammad School. And this is when you hear about city corruption, and, you know, this is where the money's at. We're going to get $10,000 from the government to train 100 low-income Philadelphia residents in some skill and we just make up the names and we don't train anybody and you get a free $1 million. That's not the details of that case, but that's how it goes. But so she got found guilty as well. Kiki Spicer had once dated Tommy Hill of the Ram Squad long before he was bumped off in 2011. But guess who she's married to now? Mike Tyson. And Philadelphia and boxing have a long pedigree. Muhammad Ali, of course, was caught up with Major Coxon, who was a guy that was probably X'd out by the Philly Black Mafia for some unpaid debts. And Ali was somewhat tainted with his associations with organized crime in Philadelphia. And Don King told Mike Tyson, if Don King's giving you advice, kind of wild, Don King told Mike Tyson, don't mess with these people. Well, these people was Kiki Spicer's family, Shamsud-Din Ali. She discovered she was pregnant with Tyson's child a week before she entered federal prison in April of 2008. She only did a few months. She got out in October of 2008. They have several children together. Now, again, that was long ago in the past. When Spicer was young, she probably just got caught up in her dad's malfeasance, and he was getting his daughter a free check. But yeah, so Mike Tyson is married to the daughter of the guy that took over from Jeremiah Shabazz as the head of Temple Number 12, and that government informants said continued the Philly Black Mafia street extortion business, which, take it from me, that sort of thing goes on in probably all the major cities. There is a thin layer of people in the food chain that simply, they need their cut. Nickel bag is sold in the park, they want in, and it's easier to just pay them than not. And now that's not what Shamsud-Din Ali was convicted of, but he was convicted of all that corruption stuff.